Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Parks and Recreation, the series reviews. I tend not to do series reviews, or even season reviews that often. But I tend to do season reviews when usually it airs when I have a podcast, a show, and I'm not able to air, review it episode by episode. And I rarely do series review unless it's a series I really like or a series I binge. So this summer I binged all of Parks and Recreation. It's a show that a lot of people recommended to me. A lot of people in my life I know watch it and love it. And I love Amy Poehler. And, after I saw Inside Out, I'm like, I kind of want to watch Parks and Recreation, see what this is all about. I remember before that I was watching The Indy Project, and I thought it was okay. I'm excited for the next season on Hulu, but I thought it was an okay series. And I heard Parks and Recreation's this comedy gold. It's like one of the best modern comedies out there. So I watched it, and here is my series review for it. And if I binge any other shows, I'm thinking of doing season reviews or series reviews too. Right now I'm watching, just started The 100, so if you want a review for that, maybe I'll do season reviews for that. I haven't decided yet. But yes, going back to Parks and Recreation. What is this show about? It's about coworkers that work at the parks department, and these people should not be working with each other. They're totally different, but somehow they mesh. Just to give some examples of characters, we have Leslie, who's our main character, who loves politics. She loves government and believes that government could do right. And, she does, of course she knows the corruption in government, but she doesn't really see it. She has a filter towards it. But then you have the opposite, which is Ron, who hates the government, loves his privacy, loves building stuff, and he still works for the government for some reason. But he's the complete opposite and is Leslie's boss. We have Anne, who's her best friend. Now, we actually see that journey from season 1 because the pit brought them together, because there's this pit in her backyard, and she complains to Leslie. It's like, we're going to get this fixed. So she meets Anne, becomes best friends with her, and becomes good friends with her boyfriend, which is Andy, who they don't last that long, and Andy ends up with April. April is kind of this intern in the beginning of the show. It's pretty demonic and loves to hate things, but at the same time has this good heart, and she does care about things. Then we also have, who else do we have? We have Donna, who just kind of the manager of the office, but she loves things too. She likes buying things, and it seems like she's, not a lover of government, but she does her job. It ends up becoming a real estate agent later in the show. We have Tom, who loves business. He wants to be a businessman. He has many ideas, but he just doesn't know how to execute them throughout the show. And then Jerry, not last but least, but Jerry, who is just the office clown. Everyone makes fun of him. He has many names in the show. And then the two newer characters, Ben, who is an accountant and is one of the assistant managers and ends up with Leslie in the end of the show. And last but not least, Chris, who's the very optimistic one and loves health. So these are all the main characters of the show. And what I love about the show, and sorry for such a long description of every character, but I think that's what's important about the show, is that it's a very character-driven show. You could say that about a lot of sitcoms, especially ensemble sitcoms, but I feel like it's even more important with Parks and Recreation, because like I said in the beginning of this review, these characters should not be friends, and I think that's what's so much fun about this show, is that people that are complete opposites mesh so well. And I think two great examples of that is obviously Leslie and Ron, because they are two complete opposites, but when they are friends, and they are good friends, and when they admit they're good friends, it makes some great episodes, and it makes for some really heartfelt moments in the show. And one of my favorite episodes being in season 7. There's actually a lot of great episodes in season 7, the last season, where it's called Ron and Leslie. And there is a time jump in the show where Ron, for some reason, is not friends with Leslie, and we find out exactly why they're not friends, and they're stuck in a room for 24 hours. And it's very much a sitcom cliche. You've seen that before. Oh, we're stuck in a room for 24 hours, let's hate each other. But they do it so well here. It's also, when they do that, it means that they don't have a lot budget. That's sometimes when they end up doing like a one-room show or a clip show, is mean like, hey, we want to save money for our last episode. But here I think it works so well, and it's one of my favorite episodes. Another set of characters I really like that are complete opposites but work is Andy and April. Andy is this really optimistic guy, kind of stupid, but fun going. And then April is demonic. Like I said, she loves to hate things, and somehow they mesh so well, and they are my favorite couple of the show, and April being my favorite character, because you see that she does have this heart of gold, though. So yeah, that's some of my favorite things about Parks and Recreation, is that the complete opposites, really. And really that's what the whole show is about. It's about kind of the good side of government. How about if there were good people in government? You know, obviously it's something, politics is such a thing about corruption, and they don't really show the, you know, the House of Cards version of politics. It's kind of this fun-going version of politics. So I feel like it's a mesh of genres for this show. It's a political show. It's a workplace show. It's mostly a workplace show, and also a family show in a way. Like these, yes, they are just friends, but they become family in a really cool way. So yeah, that's something I really enjoy, is just the mesh of genres, and how this is not just stated as this one type of show. It is a lot of things in this show that makes it really cool. And I feel like the seasons were pretty much really good pace-wise. Some shows, you know, like Community or shows like that, there are seasons where it's like, whoa, this is not funny anymore. They don't really know where they're going, and then it kind of gets better after, but there's like kind of that middle season where it's like, does this show deserve to still be on? And, you know, Parks and Recreation lasted a really long time, but I'd never felt that way. Actually, the seasons I thought were the worst were the beginning seasons. Like, I didn't really like season 1 that much, and I mean, it's not a bad season, but compared to the other seasons, I feel like the show kind of kept getting better. And then once you get to season 7, when you have that time skip, and you're like, don't really know what to think about this. I actually didn't like season 7, episode 1, where it's like, oh, this time skip, what are they doing? And, oh no, Ron's not friends with Leslie. But as it goes on, you're like, whoa, okay, this time skip actually makes sense and makes the whole picture of Parks and Recreation better. The last episode, you will tear your eyes out because it's so good, because you get to see where they are at, how their lives change, and it fits each other's characters very well. So yeah, you know, I like the ongoing jokes for this show too, like Jerry being the butt of everyone's joke, and that Jerry has a million names. Gary, Jerry, Terry, I think is hilarious. So yeah, I think they do really well with ongoing jokes, and I think that's important for a comedy too. And this is a really, really, really strong comedy, and I totally recommend it if you haven't seen it. It definitely takes you a while to binge through, and not because it's a slow show. Like I said, the pacing's actually really good for the show, but it's a lot of episodes, so that's why it took me a while to watch, and you want to not be doing other things while you're watching it. Other comedies, like, yeah, you know, I'll do things when I'm watching it, but this was a comedy I want to sit down and really pay attention to. So overall, I'm going to give Parks and Recreations a 4.5 stars. I do think this was a really, really well done comedy, but I do think the first 2 seasons, especially with Mark, you'll see the character, I didn't really mention him, but he's like an okay character. And also, I never really liked Tom that much for some reason. So yeah, those are kind of the only negatives I have really for the show, is like kind of the first 2 seasons that are the things they had to go over, the hurdles they had to go over. But then after that, it becomes really smooth sailing and one of the best comedies out there. So watch it. I recommend it. And if you want more series/season reviews that I binge, let me know. And this is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links from my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.